Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever been there? You're scrolling, endlessly scrolling, maybe through social media, news feeds, or those incredibly short videos. It feels like you're drinking from a fire hose of information, right? Post after post, video after video.
Yeah, totally.
But then you finally look up from your screen, and instead of feeling truly informed or engaged, or maybe even just a little bit smarter, you feel tired, unfocused.
Maybe even a bit dumber.
Exactly. It's this strange, almost maddening paradox. The more information we consume, the less clarity we seem to gain.
It's a feeling so many of us can relate to, and it's really far from just a subjective thing. Our mission for this deep dive is to explore exactly why this happens to us after what feels like, endless scrolling.
Right.
We're going to pull back the curtain on the underlying psychological and neurological mechanisms at play, drawing on some fascinating recent research to understand how digital design profoundly impacts our cognitive function.
That's right. Our goal here isn't to make you feel bad about your screen time, not at all, but rather to illuminate this pervasive experience. We want to equip you with insights to navigate the digital world maybe a bit more intentionally. To do that, we've been diving deep into a pretty robust stack of sources for this one. Rigorous research papers, insightful meta-analyses, and some compelling articles on design psychology.
So let's maybe start by understanding the how these platforms are specifically designed to keep us hooked in that scrolling loop.
Okay.
The key culprit often goes by the name infinite scroll. Now, this isn't just about having a lot of content available. It's a very specific, deliberately engineered design pattern.
That's a crucial distinction. Think about it. A traditional book, or even an older website, had natural choice points or stopping cues.
Right, like turning a page.
Exactly. You finish a page, you have to physically turn it. You reach the end of an article online, you might click next page or maybe navigate away. Those are distinct moments where your brain can pause, decide, potentially disengage.
They're built-in friction, essentially.
Friction, yeah.
But infinite scroll, it deliberately eliminates those cues entirely. It's like a continuous conveyor belt of content that never ends.
Right.
As soon as you reach what seems like the bottom, more content just automatically loads, seamlessly pulling you along without requiring any conscious effort or, decision to continue.
So you don't choose to keep going. The design simply removes the option to stop easily. It creates this effortless, endless flow.
Precisely. It removes the decision point.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because this continuous, effortless flow taps directly into something fundamental about our brains. The dopamine loop and variable rewards. It's the very definition of an addictive design, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's truly fascinating here is that infinite scroll operates on what's called a variable reward schedule.
Okay, variable reward schedule, like a slot machine.
Yeah.
Exactly like a slot machine. You don't know when you'll hit the jackpot, but you know that sometimes you will. That unpredictable reward, maybe an interesting post, a funny video, a new notification, a surprising piece of news, that's precisely what keeps us pulling that lever or, flicking that thumb.
So that intermittent, unpredictable reward triggers a continuous release of dopamine in our brains, that feel-good chemical, compelling us to scroll longer. It directly increases content consumption, which, let's be honest, translates to more advertising views and more data for the platform.
It's a feedback loop. It's designed for relentless engagement, really.
Yeah.
And because there are no natural stopping points, users remain in this constant state of partial attention.
Partial attention. Explain that a bit more.
Well, you're never fully disengaging, right?
Yep.
But you're also never truly focusing deeply on one thing, because the next new piece of content is always just a flick away.
Always looming. Always looming. This design actively fosters an always-on cultural expectation, making it incredibly challenging to disconnect and engage in sustained, deep cognitive activities. Keeps your mental engine kind of idling, but always ready to accelerate.
Okay, so that's how it keeps us scrolling, but what's the cost? What's the cost of being caught in this constantly accelerating loop?
Well, here's the core problem. What some researchers call the information paradox.
The information paradox.
Yes. The very design meant to deliver more information can paradoxically lead to less understanding. You consume hundreds of snippets, but you struggle to form coherent narratives or connect disparate pieces meaningfully.
Why is that? Is it just too much, too fast?
It's partly that, but it's more about the type of processing. The brain doesn't engage in what we call deep processing, when it's constantly shifting focus from one unrelated piece of content to another.
Okay, deep processing, what does that entail?
Think of it like chewing and digesting your food properly, rather than just swallowing it whole.
Okay, good analogy.
It's when your brain actively links new information to existing knowledge, it organizes it, and consolidates it into long-term memory. Without that, we skim, we react, but we don't truly absorb. This can feel like cognitive offloading. That's another key term here.
Cognitive offloading, like outsourcing your thinking.
Kind of, yeah. Where our brains start to rely on the device to remember or process, rather than doing the mental work ourselves. It's like outsourcing your memory and your understanding to the phone.
That idea of cognitive offloading is powerful. So it's not just about forgetting what we just saw 5 minutes ago,
Right.
but potentially dulling our brain's own ability to process and recall information over time if we constantly sort of delegate that work.
Precisely. It's like a muscle you stop using.
Yeah.
While convenient in the moment, this reliance can hinder the development of our internal cognitive schemas, making it harder to build long-term interconnected knowledge from all those little bits of information.
Which is what deep processing is all about.
Exactly. And this has a very real impact on our memory, especially something called prospective memory.
Perspective memory, that's our ability to remember to do things in the future, right?
That's the one.
Like remembering to call someone later or picking up groceries on the way home. Oh man, I think everyone listening can relate to this. Have you ever picked up your phone to do one specific thing, maybe send a quick text or check the weather, then got completely lost in a scrolling rabbit hole for like 20 minutes,
Happens all the time.
and then looked up having completely forgotten your original intention? That's perspective memory taking a direct hit, isn't it?
That's the perfect example. And it's not just anecdotal. There's a specific study, Kaisi et al. From 2023, that found a clear negative impact of short-form video consumption on this variability.
Short-form video specifically, like TikToks and Reels.
Yes, that type of rapid-fire content seemed particularly impactful in their findings. What's fascinating in that research is how directly it links these specific digital habits to measurable declines in our ability to plan and execute future intentions.
Wow.
It's not just a vague feeling of forgetfulness, it's a tangible cognitive cost.
And that leads us directly to the concept of context switching and attentional fatigue, I imagine.
Absolutely. The rapid succession of completely unrelated content on these feeds, a funny cat video, then a serious news headline, then an ad for socks, then a friend's vacation photos.
Yeah, the whiplash is real.
It forces our brains into constant rapid context switching. Your brain is just jumping between unrelated topics.
And that's exhausting.
It is utterly exhausting for the brain. And a early 2025 study highlighted that high context switching leads to increased task-negative mental states.
Task-negative mental states, like what?
Things like mind-wandering, distraction, just feeling generally off task. This continuous mental effort impairs the brain's ability to properly encode and consolidate memories.
So you're not remembering things well because your brain is just tired from all the jumping around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just that you're distracted in the moment. Your brain literally gets tired from the relentless demands of constantly reorienting itself. It's like your brain is running a marathon on a treadmill that keeps changing speed and direction every few seconds.
Wow. No wonder we feel completely spent and can't remember why we even got on the treadmill in the first place.
Right, and that fatigue contributes directly to that feeling of brain fog and reduced performance we started talking about.
It's like running a mental marathon without ever taking a proper breath. Plus, that kind of rapid context switching, which is basically multitasking, is well documented to increase stress too, right? It's truly a demanding environment for our cognitive resources.
It really is. And we also have direct experimental evidence on infinite scroll's impact specifically. The Ruiz et al. 2024 study did a fascinating direct comparison between infinite scroll and traditional pagination.
Ah, so they actually tested the two side by side?
Yes, they specifically tested how these different design patterns affected user behavior. What did they find?
What did they find?
Well, the findings were stark. Infinite scroll consistently led to significantly longer sessions and more content consumption compared to versions with clear stopping points or friction, like a next page button.
So it's not just a marginal difference, but a significant increase in consumption and session length.
A very significant difference, yes.
Is there anything in that research or perhaps other studies that sheds light on why we seem to lose that sense of agency with infinite scroll more than with pagination? Like, what's the mechanism there?
That's a great question. What the Ruiz et al. study, along with other similar research, suggests is that the absence of an explicit decision point is key.
Okay.
With pagination, even if it's just clicking next, there's a moment, however brief, where you make a conscious choice to continue. Infinite scroll bypasses that conscious choice entirely.
It just flows.
It smooths out the user experience to the point where the user isn't actively making a choice, but passively being pulled along. This subtle design choice fundamentally alters our engagement, making it feel less like a choice and more like an automated flow we just get caught in.
It's a clear illustration of how design, not just our willpower, drives our usage patterns.
Absolutely. Design shapes behavior in powerful ways.
So what does this all mean for us, for the listener? It's really important to emphasize, I think, that this isn't about blaming you, the individual user, for feeling overwhelmed or unfocused.
Not at all.
This is about understanding how these subtle, often invisible design patterns profoundly influence our behavior and cognitive states. It's powerful stuff when you realize the environment is shaping you this much.
It truly is. And the evidence we're drawing from is multifaceted, offering a pretty comprehensive view. We've got rigorous experimental studies, like the Kiyasi research on video's impact on memory.
Right, the perspective memory one.
And the Ruiz studies directly comparing scroll mechanics. We also have reviews of intervention strategies and broader conceptual frameworks that help explain phenomena like the information paradox and partial attention.
So it's not one isolated study, but a convergence of insights from different angles.
Exactly. And what's really striking is that the research largely converges. Different studies are exploring different facets of the same problem, the cognitive costs of these design patterns, rather than presenting wildly conflicting views on the overall negative impact.
So the consensus points to real, measurable cognitive costs associated with these design patterns. It's not really a debate about if it's happening, but more about how and why.
Precisely. So now for the good news. We can take back some control.
Okay, let's hear it. Solutions time.
The key concept here is friction. Since infinite scroll removes friction, making consumption effortless, we can deliberately reintroduce it, both through design changes and through our own habits.
That makes so much sense. Okay, first, maybe we can encourage designers themselves to embrace and implement design fictions.
Yeah, that's the ideal scenario. Instead of infinite scroll, imagine if platforms reintroduced explicit choice points or stopping cues where they don't currently exist.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, think about are you still watching prompts you get on streaming services sometimes?
Ah, right. Netflix does that.
Or the classic next page buttons like traditional websites used to have. Even something as simple as an explicit notification that says, you've reached the end of new content for now.
Just something to break the flow.
Exactly. And the Ruiz follow-on review confirms that such design interventions can effectively reduce mindless scrolling because they force that moment of decision, that pause where you think, okay, do I really want to continue?
Okay, but we don't have to wait for the tech giants to suddenly change their business models, right?
Thankfully, no.
We can also create our own friction. These are the user-side strategies.
Yes, and they can be really powerful. One really effective approach is goal-driven scrolling.
Goal-driven scrolling.
Instead of just aimlessly opening an app because you're bored or have a spare moment, have a specific, predetermined purpose before you open it.
Okay, so instead of just opening Instagram, you'd maybe say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna check this specific news headline for 5 minutes, or... Yeah.
I'm just replying to a direct message from my friend, and that's it. This transforms mindless consumption into conscious, intentional engagement. You're the pilot, not just a passenger being carried along.
I like that. Be the pilot. And along with that, conscious pauses, right?
Yes. Advocate for self-imposed stopping points. Maybe set a timer for your scrolling sessions.
Like, okay, 10 minutes, then phone down.
Or tell yourself, I'm going to watch 3 videos and then I'm done. Or I'll scroll through 10 posts and then put my phone down. Give yourself those artificial page breaks that the design deliberately took away.
That makes sense. You're basically reinserting the decision points yourself.
That's exactly what you're doing. These user-side strategies directly help reintroduce those choice points that infinite scroll removes.
Does it actually reduce overall time spent?
That's an interesting point. A nuanced insight from the Ruiz follow-on work is that while adding friction might not always drastically reduce total screen time in every single scenario,
Okay.
it significantly changes the quality of that time. It makes it more mindful, more productive, and much less prone to that cognitive fatigue, that brain fog we've been talking about.
So it's not just about cutting down minutes, it's about making the time you do spend online more effective and less draining.
Yes.
It's about being present with your attention, even when you're using these tools.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ultimately, there's profound power in simply understanding these underlying psychological and design mechanisms. Just knowing how it works is a huge step.
Absolutely. By recognizing how these digital patterns are specifically designed to engage and sometimes subtly trap our brains, you can become a more intentional, empowered user of technology. This understanding transforms that vague, frustrating feeling of brain fog into something more concrete, maybe even into a clear path towards regaining cognitive control and clarity.
And maybe think about this. What if the most valuable insights aren't found by endlessly scrolling for more information,
Yeah.
but by consciously deciding when to stop, process, and truly engage with the information you've already received?